Welcome to today's video on e-commerce, in specific 4.8.3, the types of e-commerce. First of all, there's business to consumer, also known as B2C, business to business, B2B, and consumer to consumer, C2C. Starting off with business to consumer. Well, business to consumer e-commerce can be thought of using a traditional business model. A company makes or purchases some goods and then attempts to sell them to the end consumer. The majority of e-commerce companies operate using this model. As a result, there's likely to be a lot of competition, which in turn leads to squeezed profit margins. The most successful business-to-consumer e-commerce companies work hard to develop brand loyalty. This may be done by making the buying process easier for consumers, stocking goods that consumers want to buy, or even offering competitive prices. Now, storing consumers' payment details to make the site easier to use is another way to achieve loyalty. The online card retailer Moonpig is an example, and they have developed customer loyalty by emailing customers to remind them of their friends' forthcoming birthdays. Now, the site does this by simply recording any purchase a customer makes, then sending them a reminder 12 months later. This simple tactic encourages loyalty and is valued by many customers. Now, if we go to business, well, business to business is a situation where one business makes a commercial transaction with another. They supply other companies the goods and services they need, and the sales to other businesses. Now, if you think about this model involves supplying other companies the goods and services they need, and the companies have different priorities for those who sell directly to the end consumer. Suppliers have to be able to deliver an agreed quality at an agreed time, and long-term relationships and customer loyalty are much more common than in consumer markets. Large supermarkets deal with thousands of suppliers, and to keep costs low, stores use just-in-time systems. This means that suppliers may be expected to make deliveries several times a day. Online systems help make this process possible, and integrated systems mean that the moment an item is sold in a store, a replacement product is ordered from a supplier. With actual deadlines, supermarkets have to prioritize when looking for a supplier who has to actually often be very reliable. Now, there are also many businesses that are probably less aware of that supply manufacturers with machines, tools, and office equipment. Now, these products can be large, such as the very specialized machines that are able to maybe create products or several stages using a conveyor belt, and large printers for offices are another example. Now, in both instances, the business-to-business company will need to provide a further support service in the form of maintenance. But however, for smaller B2B products, the relationship can be less close. So, for example, a stationary office, it might be easier for them to change suppliers as the goods are much less specialized to each individual customer. Now, moving on to consumer, also known as C2C. Well, consumer to consumer e-commerce businesses allow members of the public to actually sell to each other. eBay is often cited as this classic example of a consumer to consumer business model, but others include Amazon Marketplace and a Chinese company called Taobao. Now, these companies do not sell anything themselves. Instead, they provide platforms for others to trade. And you're probably used to these platforms as you've used them before. In Singapore especially, one of the very well-known companies and businesses is called Carousel, where users can actually trade or sell their belongings. Now, consumer-to-consumer e-commerce companies have to protect both buyers and sellers from potential fraud. And in conclusion, they make money by charging a commission on every item that is sold. I hope this was a valuable lesson, and we'll be moving on to a different topic in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've learned something.